student recruitment isn't just about visas or numbers or money. It's about humans making life-changing decisions with the help of other humans, and their work often goes unnoticed. And we are here to bring them into the spotlight at DreamMakers. Before we start properly, a quick one. When you hear the word DreamMakers, what pops into your head?
Great one. It actually has two sides. It pops out in my mind, the one's actually dreaming and the other one's on the other side making it coming true.
That is a good analogy. We, people in our industry, they're helping making the dreams come true of all those young students who are going on an adventure in another country, basically, to have a better life after. So now complete this sentence in one clean line. The one thing most people get wrong about student recruitment is...
I think the short-term targets. There are actually many international student counselors or the agents, and we have been in the industry for the last 20 years. So they are the ones who are selling the programs or just thinking the students as the customers, but they are the ones who are not selling but advising about the programs and thinking the students as the students, not the customers.
Yeah, because we're dealing with like real people, right? So everything we do will affect their life. So they're not just money bags, so to say. They're real people.
And I have a case I can tell about. So for about 8 years ago, we started implementing a personality test. And we used the career guides out of that one. And the reason behind is that we had a student, a family friend actually, and she has been to the US to start studying the internal architecture program. And then the interior design kind of program mostly. And then one semester later, she ended up saying that it's not something for me. And then she has been to UK to start studying psychology. And after 1 year, she ended up saying that it's not for me. And then she ended up in Cyprus studying international business. And she's doing that as a career now, and she's happy. Once we had that one, we understood that we have to adapt to new generations. They're not thinking as we do. And they are really quick about adapting to the other stuff. So, and we encourage with the human resources department of the companies mostly. And I had a friend, luckily, and she was working in one of the biggest automotive companies in Turkey, a German-based one, but she was working in the Turkey region. And then she offered a kind of the personality test. You can run this test and understand the student itself and the motivations, strengths, limitations, so that you can help them build their career better. And then you can also help them decide on the career path they should be fitting in their personality. Since then, we applied that one and we see less changes about the career progress of the students. And even there is one, he's an art director and he's working mostly with the DJs and based in UK. And I did him the test about 8 years ago. He was one of the first students I applied this personal test. And he texted me last week after 8 years saying that, thank you, you made me the right path and I'm in the right place and you made my dreams come true. And he will be actually shooting and the videos and the photographs and all the art creation part of one of the really most famous DJs, and they have an event in Miami soon.
Wow. And then 8 years after you helped him, that must be a really nice message to get one day, that you see the help you gave him 8 years ago now is he can see that all that value came because of you, basically.
Yep. It's good to hear. I actually like these kind of stories behind that one. And as you said about starting the dream dream we make come true. And it really happens when we hear these kind of stories.
Yeah, that's must give a really nice high. It elevates your mood for the rest of the day for sure. Okay, then for people meeting you the first time, who are you and what is Egitimal, if I pronounce it correctly?
And Egitimal actually did start as a shopping platform. It was really a kind of long-term project, but at first it didn't work as an online shopping platform, and there was still time, and I think still is coming quite new and popular. And then we actually followed the regular education counseling services we provided. And my story, I started from the far beginning and of the process. I started as a visa counselor. I was just first doing the visa applications of the students and then progressed into education counselor position and then being a manager in the office and taken over the office, the branch I've been working, and taken over the company and the other shares. In time, it took about like 6-7 years. And my name is Burhan and I've been working in this industry for the last 20 years. So when the students come to us or me as a personal counselor, and I mostly define myself as an education counselor, I still keep running the company, but at the same time, I'm a full-time counselor as well.
Okay, wow. That's a big role and a nice progression through the company for sure. What do you personally then spend most of your time on? Is it then, because you said full-time education counselor, is most of your time spent on counseling or other work?
And it's most counseling. I have two parts. I'm still doing the counseling as I need to keep up with the students and keep
Mhm.
up with the industry. And when you run a company, it might be working with the other sectors, but when it comes to international education, we have seen many changes over the last few years, and pandemic one was one of them. And then the visa changes, and through not only limited to Canada but to Australia as well. And even the political stuff affects our industry and the students' decisions. And the political side affects the visas immediately. So we have to be aware about what's going on in the industry and around. So that's why I sell my full-time position as an education counseling. And then I support my counselors in the offices and just train them and make sure to understand we all talk the same language with the students. We definitely understand them, understand the needs, and just meet the expectations and make the perfect match about the programs or the countries they want to study. So the one is education counseling, still education counseling, but supporting the counselors that I work and then run the company. And also we do our own industry events. We do education student recruitment fairs. And we invite the schools all over the world and in 2 times a year, one in fall, one in spring. And we run the education fairs and we make the students meet the schools, not just the agents as us. And they can also talk to someone when they will be meeting, when they go to that country, go to that school. So we organize the events as well.
So it's almost spring. When is your next event?
We did one actually. We just finished that one in Turkey. Next one is in fall in October.
Okay. How did it go, your event?
It was great. Still great interest of the students, and we had really good variety of the schools portfolio we have. We had the schools from Europe, from many different countries in Europe. Recently, Italy and Germany is so popular, so we had quite good number of schools from there. We had schools from Sweden and Finland, UK, US, Canada, Australia, and it was really variety of the schools and the variety of the schools so that they can match their expectations and ask their questions in the first hand and get the answers.
Do you see a difference of interest from the Turkish students and where they want to go? Do you see a change? Like normally or nowadays the interest in the big four countries is going down. Other countries like European countries or Asian countries are more popular. Do you see that as well with the Turkish students?
Exactly, yes. And out of Big Four and UK is still doing well
Mm,
compared to others. And as geographically we are so close to Europe, and
mm,
Europe is the one of the most dominant one currently. And also there's a special case with the German. There are a good number of German Turkish people living in Germany. So the German as nationality, but they have
mm,
been there for more like 30, 40 years. And anyone in Turkey, not maybe everyone, but an out of 10, and at least two or three of them have some kind of friends, relative, family friends living in Germany. So having someone in the country where they want to go as destination and makes the
mm,
students and the parents feel more comfortable so they can have a
mm,
kind of emotional support, even not it has to be logistic support. So
mm,
Germany is one of the most dominant, I think, now. And also the German government is really implementing really good investment on international education, making more programs on English. Private institutions are showing up in the markets more than they did before. So, and the Europe is on one side, especially Germany in the Europe as well. And
mm,
but there's quite a good number of students inquiring about the Far East. And we recently hosted one of the events in Istanbul, the Japanese embassy,
mm,
and they talked about the scholarship program, the higher education programs they offer, and all the programs either they can study either in Japanese or in English. So there was quite good number of students in the seminar room, like more than 200. So it was really quite good interest in that one. So there are the students asking about the Korea, and I think
mm,
it might be Korea being popular through the arts and the music especially and the young ones, and they're getting their attention. So,
mm,
and the first interest in culture then brings something further, like visiting and even just going into the international education as well. So yeah, and the
mm.
students are really exploring other options. Out
Yeah.
of that, Mark, and I think not the Gen Z that we have been talking about, they're smart, they know what they want.
Mm,
And even if they don't know what they want, they know what they don't want. So
mm,
it's something I use to my students as well. So if you cannot decide about what you want, and then make sure you know what you don't want, and then we
mm,
can pick up the right one among the others. So we can talk further on that one. So you will be going to right way, the right path. And they want to diversify. They don't want to go in a country, spend only 4 years in one university, in one country, in one state. So I think they're looking for more other multiple destination options. Out of that one, they don't want to spend a whole 4 years. They're looking for shorter options.
Okay, so like 2 years in one country and then 2 years in the other, or something like
Maybe, yeah, and or even just one. And so there are some UK institutions, and there is one actually doing really well in UK, really high rank one, but they have a campus in Ningbo, China. They also have a campus in Malaysia, and the student can study 1 year each as long as they have the same program and still have the same diploma. And studying in a different country rather than the UK, it actually is cost effective as well. So they can reduce the cost of the living and also even the tuition. And then if they still want to graduate in UK, they can go and study the final year in UK and graduate there as well.
I think the cost is one thing, but the personal growth a student will undergo because they can experience all these different countries and cultures and lifestyles, that is really valuable for them in the future as well, I think.
Yep, definitely. Something I definitely support. Rather than having longer programs or longer courses in one country, and the diversity and definitely makes them build their career, even the personality first and then the career itself. So let's say they do internship at 3 different countries. So they know how the industry works in there and how the employee relationship works. So they can easily adapt to any country they go after there. And if they want to work in an international area and international fields, and if they want to be a world citizen, that, and our industry uses that a lot, so be a world citizen, a country one. So I think that's the best opportunity they can follow.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of wish I could do. I don't know if I could do that when I was in college, but I did only like short study trips. Like I did 2 weeks in Norway, 2 weeks in Bulgaria, but I did my exchange in Korea and summer school in Korea, and the rest was just in the Netherlands. So yeah, but this sounds nice. 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year in different countries. And also funny you mentioned Germany earlier. I know Germany is very popular with the Turkish people. And for the Europeans watching, doner kebab that we eat in Europe is technically not from the same they eat in Turkey, but it was invented by a Turkish guy in Germany. And that is the doner kebab we know in Europe. So that's, I thought it was always pretty cool. I ate a lot of those in high school. That's why I got fat. So, but they're very delicious. And in Korea as well, like you mentioned, Korea has been working a lot on their soft power, and that's why it's now popular with international students to come and study and check it out. And when they come, they realize it's not like the movies, but still, Korea is a good place to be, or else I wouldn't have been here for more than 10 years now already. So, okay, that was a nice story. So, okay, I really like the transnational education of doing multiple countries. Actually, were you also an international student, or did you do an exchange somewhere when
No,
you
I
were
didn't
young?
have much chance to do that one, but I wished. And it's another story. And when I graduated in the spring term, and I was one of the students visiting one of those international student recruitment fairs. And after a few months in the fall one, and I was the one behind the table and giving the advice to students. So it was so quick transition. But after I actually started working in the industry, I had several courses from several institutions worldwide, and including Cambridge University kind of online programs. And we had several workshops at the UCLA in Turkey. We brought UCLA to Turkey and to make kind of really short workshops for the industry and people working in several institutions, really good and really well experienced and trained. And lecturers came directly from LA and to train the people here in Turkey. And I definitely followed all of those courses with them as well. And probably I had more than 15 programs, either in person in the country abroad or online, or the ones we did through the workshops in Turkey as well. I still keep up studying. And recently I just finished a social entrepreneurship program, and it adds definitely on. And there is a distinct online program I definitely advise my students to study as well. It's short online 6 weeks program, and at the University of Cambridge, it's the psychology in the workplace. So, and all of us actually, we all work with people, not just the education side. When they finish their studies, and if they study, let's say, a mechanical engineering program or industrial engineering program, if they are running a project, if they're running a group, they definitely should understand the psychology of the people they work with, the ones in the team. And if they are the manager, again, they should understand the people they're leading. So if
Mm.
they're a part of a group and they have to understand the other people in the group, or let's say if they are serving for a company, if they're giving kind of counseling, so they have to understand the expectations and needs of that one. And I think the key thing behind is the psychology. So it was really quite good program, and it was short. And I just, even with this type of job, I'm working full time with different regions of time. So I study in the morning and mostly working with the Asia stuff, and I just keep up with the Turkey when it comes to evening. Let's say I had a 5 p.m. meeting yesterday with the east side of Canada, and at 7 p.m. I had a meeting with the west side of Canada. So it's something I could, then students can also do as well. Some this kind of short and on-site, online, and any diverse kind of programs definitely helps the students. And the psychology in the workplace is something that I definitely advise all of my students to study as well, and I did myself too.
Yeah, I agree. I also believe in the philosophy that we should never stop learning. So, for every student out there right now that might be watching this, if you think you finished studying when you graduate university, oh, you're so wrong. That is when the real studying or learning begins. It's okay. It feels better than being stuck in a classroom, though. So it's different. But yeah, never stop learning, or else we might become obsolete in a sense. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what is one part of your job that your friends outside the industry will never understand?
Great. When I tell that I'm doing an international education counseling, and they are surprised about the industry and asking, is there an industry like that, or is there an occupation and called education counseling or study abroad education counseling?
Mm.
And they don't understand how it works mostly, or the cost. And when it's a random place, they ask, how much does it cost? And then I ask, what? And is what, which program? So we run several programs. We start from the age 3, and the family and the kid studying abroad, kind of the ESL kind of programs, and it goes up to PhD. So we have students like 4-year-old, but we have students like 50 years old. So a wide range of programs studying with only 1 or 2 weeks junior courses going up to PhD. So, and the best range is totally kind of different. They don't understand that one. And the other thing they ask about, how did you ended up in this industry?
Mm.
It's the other funny side of the industry as well. When I talk to anyone, I think no one in the industry has been in this job or role or position on purpose. So they either studied abroad and then explored their scenario and then did that one, or had the intention to go abroad like mine, and then explored the area and see the opportunity. So it was a good way when I started to travel abroad. So it's part of your position, and you travel abroad as a part of your job. And you go to schools, you go to fam trips, you explore several different countries. So that was one of my motivation was starting this one, and that's the other thing. And they don't most understand how I could find out about this position, and also they don't understand how the pricing behind about the tuitions works. And the other thing, that if they, for instance, like say the Germany, the public universities actually offer the tuition for free or almost really small kind of fees, but they say if I go to UK and if I study in a public university, so I'll not be paying, right? I say, no, it doesn't work like that. There are several universities, several countries, they all have different kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's hard. You have to figure out, especially if you're sending students to multiple countries, not just focused on one or two, then you have to know a lot about the rules, regulations, and inner workings of each country. Yeah, I guess that's also what they don't understand. And I also didn't know it was a $500 billion industry, international student mobility. Oh, there was one thing you said that really appealed to me. You said people don't really choose to end up in this industry, but we end up here. Like, the same for me. Like, I had a marketing company in Korea. I was helping Korean companies target foreign customers, either domestically or internationally. And then I sort of got headhunted for this job. And then I was suddenly working in international student mobility, which I have never thought about ever doing in my life. So it's interesting. But here I am. And now I'm shooting podcasts with student recruiters all over the world. So I'm enjoying it completely. So I never thought I would like this, but I'm really, really enjoying it. So
I really like what I do, not only just happening on the student side. So it has definitely the value side about my job itself, and I still hear the stories. So I had a student who studied in Canada, the high school program, and then she ended up in UK, and did the bachelor's in UK, and met a guy in UK, got married to him, and now they are planning to go to Canada to a master's program and explore if they can settle. And the story is like 12 years long.
Mm.
And then starting from that part and knowing that, and she was a kid like 15, and now she is a lady like 27, 28.
That is not a student placement. That is like a multi-seasonal Netflix show that you
Yeah.
can experience. Yeah.
We're still in contact. So that makes me feel really, really, really good about and hearing these kind of stories and just keeping the story long, not just specific to that one, which makes me really happy. But I really love my job. We met people, and especially with the help of the pandemic, we moved more online. I think if we were talking about like 5, 6 years ago about doing a podcast online, and it wouldn't be that appealing at that time. But I like meeting new people, and through this job, and I probably met people more than different 60 countries, and the other ones still I'm in touch. And if I need anything in any country, and I just go on LinkedIn and check who I know in that region, in their part, even it's some kind of funny request or just really something minor, but it helps a lot. Saying that, hey, we met there, and we just still keep in touch on LinkedIn. So I have an issue in your country, so I just want to get a quick advice. Shall I give you a quick call? Or here's my question, can you please help? And always the reaction is positive.
That's good. It means you established a really nice relationship with these people, and they can obviously see that you were not just a company trying to get some quick money, but you really helped make their life, and now they want to do something in return as well, basically. That's really nice to hear. Yeah. Like you said, some people treat this like short-term money-driven decisions, but what does that look like on the ground to you? Like how are these bad apples sort of ruining students' lives?
Actually, the bad apples do not remain long in the industry. They just start to show up and they flourish and they sell and then they disappear. So this has been the story in the industry, in Turkey especially, that I have experienced for the long time. Of course, they are the ones. Don't mean that. So there should be the oldest companies in the industry should be stable, and the others should not start. And anyone who feels they will do this and right and will be helping the students on the right way. And of course, I'm so happy to see even our counselors just starting up their own business or working through for a school or just moving around. We still always keep in touch with them and still help each other. And then the ones actually who just flourish and sell and then disappear, they disappear. But the effect is on the students. So we really heard bad stories. There are the students we do well in Canada, for instance, though we hear those stories about students going to a private college in Canada, thinking that they will have the post-graduation work permit when they finish. But they understand this one when they finish a year and a half. So I think the thing we cannot take back is the money, and the time is stolen there. So, and even if they pay back and what they paid for it, but they cannot recover those a year and a half. So, and I think that's the devastating or the most effect on the students. And they have a dream and they have a desire, they have a passion, and they go there and study. So the expectations and the reality definitely should match. So what we always tell our students that just go there with the minimum expectations. So expect minimum. Don't expect anything even. Definitely there will be a school. Even while talking to some students, I can tell you the dream. And it's part of the position. It's not something the right way, but that is the reality. So there are some students I told you should not go abroad. Though this is my role, and I say you should study your bachelor's degree in Turkey. So when you feel better, when you feel you're ready, you can go. We can just do some kind of short-term programs. So that is one of my students is studying law, and we had quite a good number of offers from UK universities, and we were just talking about the last one to decide on either Manchester or Liverpool. And then at the end of conversation, after like 45 minutes, I said, I think you should not go this year, and you had better study in Turkey and do 1 year. If you feel comfortable, then you can plan next year. And then after that one, the family had an internal meeting, and then we met again. They said, definitely this is the right decision. And we are all relieved. So we're all stressed. Now we're all good, and definitely will study in Turkey and keep going. And then last summer, he went to a summer school in Italy at Bocconi, did a great summer school, and had really great experience, had fun, saying that yes, and I understand the short-term one is something different, but making long-term 4-year plan is something totally different. So I'm really thankful that I stayed in
Mm,
Turkey, and then I'll plan my masters. I'm more comfortable, so I know how it works now and how I
mm,
feel now, how I should be ready now. And that way we definitely have the better results when we see the students definitely walking the right path and about the career plans. This actually something we distinguish as well. So we never sell dream. And
mm,
it's really hard to do this job actually. We tell that, so look, there is a university there. It's called UCLA. There are
mm,
about 50,000 students studying in the campus. It's the top ranked, one of the top ranked students in top 20. And when you go there, so you will stay in a residence, you will have the friends. So you will
mm,
join the clubs. So they will the parties. So you will
mm,
have the classrooms, you will have really experienced and talented lecturers. So when you tell this one, this sounds really amazing. This is really appealing. But on
mm,
the other side, you say you'll be alone, you'll be on your own. So you will
mm,
do everything yourself, especially say high school students or even high school is fun. There is a homestay component or the boarding one, so they don't need to deal with the meals. And it's the bachelor's, you are 17, 18, and you go to a country about 20 hours away from the country. Even I tell everywhere is close, everywhere is in 1 day distance, but the psychological distance is the other thing. So there is the time difference. So
mm,
when you wake up, your parents sleep. When you sleep, your parents wake up. So keeping up with that one is even not that easy. And you should wash your dishes. You should wash your clothes. You should do your laundry, and you should cook for yourself. So
mm,
even you can manage, you need to be aware of this one as well. You need to get socialized. So you will be the one among the crowds. And like you, then the first thing you should do is to make friends so that you can be happy and then you can be
mm,
successful. And
mm.
out of that one, actually, what I've asked to my students is that the first year, if I can manage, I can never let them stay in an apartment they rent. I make them stay in a residence the first year.
Hmm. It's interesting you say that because I went to college in the Netherlands. My first degree was IBMS in Rotterdam, which was sort of close to my hometown. So I just traveled back and forth to school and back. But I ended up not liking it. I didn't like the city. I didn't like the people. I didn't like the program. So I stopped. But I realized I really liked marketing. So I found a course called International Marketing Management, and the closest university that had that was like 2.5 hours away by public transport. So that is when I went into a share house basically with two other students. And wow, yeah, what you just mentioned there, like being, you have to take care of yourself, you have to do dishes, wash your clothes, clean the house, everything my mommy used to do. And then on top of your studies, that was I think was really good for me to do that when I was like 19, to prepare me for adulthood basically. So I'm very grateful for that, but yeah, there was definitely a tough time. Also, you're living with other people that are not your family, and you have to. Everybody has boundaries, and you have to live there and keep that space together. And it's really an amazing but tough learning process for sure. So it just brought me back to my college days, basically.
It definitely helps. So when, especially for the students we work for, either 1 semester, 1 year exchange programs on the high school, and also
Mm,
I see that one most on the students who just start their bachelor's programs. So
mm,
when they come back the next year, we still keep up with the students. We get their feedbacks, and this is the way we counsel the students as well. We just give the information through the experiences or the feedbacks of the students who are there, who have been there, and we even try to make them meet each other and then do the peer support. So why
mm,
I see that, and that first year makes the students grow at least 2 or 3 years. So, and
yeah.
that's the magic year. So if they know what they should expect, and if they what should actually do and follow the step to get socialized, do their own stuff to make them grow really quick.
I agree. It was a great time for me because I often see that in Korea, the Korean youth, they stay with their parents for a long time, but it really prevents them from growing up in a sense. I can see, and they don't like to believe that, and they're talking about community and we're staying together, or oh, it's too expensive to live on my own, it's a waste of money. But the amount of personal development you undergo by living by yourself or with with other people that you have to manage a household together is so valuable. And now they're staying with their parents until they're almost 30. It's like, oh, they're, it feels like you're very really behind in life, either socially or maybe you're doing better economically, or you have money to waste on stupid stuff you don't need. But I think it's better for everyone to grow up, is to leave your house a bit sooner than what they do in Korea. So yeah, I was 18, 19 when I moved out, and I don't regret it at all, basically, even though it was tough at times.
Actually, Mark, you just made a really good point, and same in Turkey as well. And the parents think that they do something well for their kids, and or not kids actually. When they turn to 18, 19, they're grown ups. The some
Mm,
they do something really bad for them, and so they never know how long they will live, and they never
mm,
know how long they could support the kids. Just keeping them away as soon as possible definitely helps them. So we have another case, and a single mom just with the son, and just she was exploring about ESL program abroad. I say you should not send your son. The first thing, and
mm,
she asked, "Isn't it your job to send my son abroad?" So yes, this is my job, but I don't mean to send anyone, or I don't mean to send the one who's not ready. And she
mm,
insisted. And then the kid went abroad for an 8 week CSL program. And after 4 weeks, he said, I want to come back. And he
mm,
returned back.
mm,
And then later, we just made a few applications to some universities in Netherlands. And then he
mm,
got offered and he paid the deposit. And then the parents said that I didn't like the residences. I don't think he will be happy there. That's why I canceled the program and I made another application to a UK university because they like the residence. And then after one semester, they said the residence is not something that we were expecting. After
mm,
4 months, this is they realized. And then
mm,
he's now back to Turkey. And every
mm,
time he wants to be back, the parents supported. And then that's
mm,
why he couldn't do that one. And he will keep him another year to decide on what to do. And I don't think he will again be that courageous to go abroad and explore that opportunity. So as long
mm,
as you keep the kid at home and until 30 is something really excessive. So it's really hard to survive after 30 if you leave that the most important 12 years that you should grow up with your family. And if you
mm,
spend that 12 years with family, then you're not 30. You feel like more than 21, 22. And if someone is still babysitting you, then you don't
mm.
need to grow up. So it's something really tricky on that side about just, is it something that the parents helping the students or devastating the opportunity or just getting the opportunity or not giving them the chance to grow up.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you then eventually leave the nest at almost 30, and then you're trying to mingle with people from your age, and then everybody just thinks you're weird because you are not socially adapted yet to that circle, or maybe they have some sense of misplaced entitlement because they were babied for so long, so they feel like everything should just be handed to them. And then there's other people who have been turning into an adult for the last 12 years, and then they really rub each other the wrong way, I think. You have to keep a really open mind with someone that stayed with their parents until they were 30, I think, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's sad. It's sad that the parents think they're doing the best for the kids, but actually they're kind of ruining their future and relationships. And it's only, yeah, it's hard to, I think, bounce back from that, basically. It's so much time wasted, basically. So,
It doesn't have to about the age like 18, 19. So it's same for the younger ones
mm,
about junior programs. So we think that junior programs are just the ESL plus activities, but actually they make the kids grow as well. So my case, I have a daughter, she's 12 and a half. And the first experience she had was when she was 10 and a half. And there were
mm,
five girls, and mine was the youngest one. She was an unaccompanied minor flyer. So, and
mm,
I took her to airport, just handed to Turkish Airlines staff, and they just actually taking care of her. And just when she went to UK, she was met there by the school. And mostly, and people, or we prefer 2 weeks, but I internationally did 3 weeks for her. I know it
mm,
was the challenge week, the last week one, and she got bored. She missed us. It was the first time she has been away that long from home. She was abroad, a new culture, new
mm,
atmosphere. She was just living in a boarding school, and everything is
mm,
in that one. There were the fun parts, of course. There were the activities, the excursions she was doing, and before 3 days she was to return, she called me saying that she cannot delete an app on her iPhone, and
mm,
she was crying because she cannot delete that app. I said, "Why? Just keep it there. say, I no, I want to delete that one. So the reason was not just the application being on the mobile. So
Mm,
but it was the way that she was expressing her stress. But she
mm,
learned how to handle with that one.
mm,
The next year, she was even more motivated to go and just, she even didn't ask any questions. The first one was challenging. She was always calling and asking. And
mm,
then the last week, that third week, made her grow, and she was back and she was talking more like an adult, and the way
mm,
she thinks changed. And she had the chance to meet the students from other countries, and they understand and the difference between the cultures,
mm,
and how is the student and the parent relationship, and when it changed the cultures as well, and what the students do and explore experience there as well. So even at that age, when she was 10 and a half, she did
mm,
only 3 weeks. I think she was grown up like at least more than a year when she was back to Turkey. So I implied that one. I actually applied that one in my life to my daughter as well. Just try to push her as much as possible. Of course, she's my daughter. Of course, I love her, but this doesn't mean that and she has to be in the nest forever.
mm.
That's why she needs to learn how to fly.
Exactly. There's no success without suffering. So we need to sort of guide them with the suffering, but we should definitely not baby them. I can understand your daughter too. If you go from Turkey to the UK, and then I can imagine her calling you, say, "Dad, the weather sucks, the food sucks. I want to come back to Turkey. I need my lamazun or whatever. I don't want to have this boiled meat and potatoes every and baked beans on toast." And I can understand. And also, I can relate really well because when I did my exchange semester in Korea, even though I was 21, I really didn't like it the first month. I arrived at the end of August, and Korea is so humid in the summer, and it's a whole new culture, and the food was different. Like I'm from the Netherlands, we traveled all over the world to steal everybody's spices, but we didn't use them. So when I came to Korea and ate spicy food, I was crying on the toilet for like a week. And Koreans love building college campuses on mountains because it's closer to God or whatever. In the middle of summer, then I have to climb a mountain to my dormitory every time. I was showering 4 times a day. I really hated it, and I was like, I can't deal with this. I'm gonna go home. But after 1 month, I really leaned into it, and 10 years later, I'm still in South Korea. So yeah, you have to suffer a bit, and then you adapt, and then when you give in to the experience, that is when you really grow as a person.
Yep.
But yeah, it was tough. That's also why I talk about this a lot in my podcast. But going abroad really expands your horizon, expands your bubble, and then when you go back home, it can be hard to relate to some of your old friends or family because their bubble didn't expand and they will not understand you. Like how your friends don't understand what is really international student mobility in this industry. But the beauty of going international, you make new friends all over the world, you can expand your bubble, and then it's okay to let go of old friends, even family, and then you make new ones anyways with people that maybe have also an expanded bubble like yourself, basically. But it's sad reality to accept that you will lose people just because you decided to take a chance on your future and have an experience abroad, basically.
And that is a saying actually I really like, just I'll be combining the spice experience of yourself and the variety and the international student mobility. And it
Mm,
says variety is the spice of life. So, and if you just eat the boiled potato, then there's no spice. Like my own case, before she went to UK, she was not that happy with trying the new kind of foods. But after
mm,
she was back, we went to Korean, we went to Far Eastern restaurant. She's just actually exploring and sending me new kind of restaurants. And every month we're just exploring a new restaurant. We follow up them on Instagram, the new places. And it's our routine. And every month we just go and just try different cuisine. So
mm,
that is the variety and that's the spice that and she's more happy to try something new now. It's not just limited to the food itself, and
mm,
she feels more courageous. Even I tell my students that not just only one country, the variety definitely helps build your career itself.
mm,
And yeah, the international student mobile doesn't have to be in one place or in one way. It has the cultural aspect, the education aspect, the network as well. So we definitely don't talk much about on the network ones. These stories definitely just go up and grow with how you expand your circle, and then that's the effect of the network that you have. So you meet someone who definitely you don't know about the country. And I think the most variety effect on the students and their careers is the network one.
Yeah. Yeah, they say it doesn't really matter what you know; it matters who you know. But that's a little bit oversimplified, but there is some truth to that. That you can be very smart, but if you don't have any network, then it's really hard. It's not impossible, but it's really hard to make things happen. Basically, so yeah, I can see that too. Because I was an international student, we met a lot of other international students, but the most value I got was actually from meeting the locals, so meeting other Koreans. So I was the first foreigner in the University of Seoul basketball team because the body that was assigned to me was the captain of the basketball team.
Wow, cool.
So every international student got like a buddy to help them open a bank account, get a SIM card, basically, and sort of show them around campus and in the area so they will not get lost. And we started talking. We realized we both played basketball, so he invited me to join the basketball team, and that's how I became the first foreigner in a University of Seoul basketball team. And there was one tricky thing, like I had Korean classes, beginner Korean classes, but they were at the same time as my basketball training. So I made a decision. I calculated this. No, maybe not. But I decided not to go to Korean class and just focus on the basketball training. In the end, my Korean was better than the people that focused on the Korean class because none of my basketball team members basically spoke English or just a little bit. So yeah, I learned a lot of Korean, like more real Korean language by not going to Korean class and joining the basketball team. But my Korean now is not as good as I want it to be. So maybe I should start taking lessons now or just join another basketball team, I guess.
That's good. That's definitely like kind of good way to get socialized. I something tell that students just get into clubs and
Mm.
something you're interested. And if even if there is no one, just you start yourself. So that's the way you explore and just meet new people. The first semester, especially in the first month, and just any activity, just go and join. So and every single activity you can meet one. Can be from your department, can be someone from studying totally something different. It can be local, it can be another international. But
Mm.
definitely the first thing they start studying definitely helps them get socialized and just fit into the country, the city, the university better. And it makes them more successful as well. As your case, it's about something who you know and who's in your cycle.
Yeah, exactly. And they really enjoyed having a foreigner there because it was interesting. But it was like 2011, so foreigners were still a little bit special in Korea. And they always we went with the whole team for food. So they showed me restaurants that the normal international students wouldn't be able to go to because they had no idea it was there. And yeah, they just made me feel at home. Like you mentioned it earlier as well, that having friends or a community is really important when you're studying abroad because it can be very lonely. So having sort of a safety net or a nice social network that you can just hang out or talk when you need to or when you're missing home that there's someone there is really valuable, I think. So,
Definitely.
okay, so you also wrote to me that sustainable success is built on trust, not transactions.
Yep.
So give me the real version. What happened to you that taught you that?
There are several cases actually, and the thing we mostly face is that one when we just meet the student, talk to the student, given the opportunity or the several options to study abroad. Sometimes they do not hear what they want to hear. The case of a student when I tell that he should not go abroad this year and he's not that ready yet and should wait. And then they wanted to shop around and went to another counselor or several ones. And one told about the better side of the country or the program or the experience. So they start the process. Sometimes they go and they fail and cannot go. They just get a guidance or a counseling from someone else and they come back once they fail. And then I understand it's something about trust. Say, yes, and you told us this one, but we didn't listen to you. We did actually follow another path and then we just came back to you and to get the advice because it didn't work. So the good thing is that even if they go somewhere else and do something else and just follow another path, and at the end they feel that they're so comfortable and we have given that trust. So they can come back again. Or the other case I told you about, the high school student who started in Canada and did the high school, been to UK for bachelor's, worked in the industry for more than 6-7 years, but came back again while asking about the master's program. Another case, I have a student we just actually started with him when I just first started in the industry. It was 20 years ago. He went to ESL school in UK. And then the next summer, 4 friends went to Malta. for ESL again, and they did a 4 weeks wonderful program in Malta. I helped them rent a really nice penthouse, and cost less than when compared to an apartment. They all stayed in one apartment, but it was a penthouse. So, and then he went to UK to the masters. So once he was back, he was just visiting me in the office. And though I met him for more than 6, 7 years, and then he asked me about, while giving direction to come to office to his friends, so what is the sign outside? He doesn't know the brand name. And though he has been 3 times abroad and he has my email, he knows the email extension, but and after some time, that trust relationship actually goes beyond the brand itself. Then it's something more kind of personal trust relationship. So, and it's another story I tell others. He referred me more than 2025 for his friends as well. And the chain still keeps going. So they have the younger brothers or sisters. Now they have the cousins. And even I have the students who have their kids. So I send them to study bachelor's abroad. They've been back to Turkey, got married, have the kids. Now we're talking about junior programs for their kids. And I think this is something I can easily define as the trust and the long-term relationship. That's why we mostly work with the reference and it works.
It's quite funny that you keep sending your students and then there's, well, what's the name of the company? It's like, I have no idea. But
yeah,
I trust him, but I have no idea what the company is called, but it's okay. Okay, then can you give me one other dream maker in your circle that the world needs to hear from next? Like we now heard it from you, Burhan, and it's been amazing, but do you have someone in your circle, another dream maker that we definitely should speak to?
I have a friend living in UK and he's on the school side, not the agent side, if you're interested. But he has worked at several different type of programs and he faced several institutions. He knows the university side, he knows the counseling side, but he has one of the older and education counselors. He may talk about his experience transitioning from the education counseling to the school side and the students' experience while he was counseling the students, and the students' experience when they arrive in the country and then study at the kind of the school site.
Okay, what is this dream maker's name and at what university is he now working?
And his name is Onur Balaban, and he's now working in UK, the pathway provider. He's working for the Kaplan Pathways. He's kind of giving kind of counseling, and yeah, he has quite good experience, and he run his team. And in Turkey Hall, also he ran the team, and the model was different. It was a school, an ESL school, but not working directly with the agents, but doing their own counseling, own kind of marketing stuff. So I think you should definitely talk to Onur Balaban.
Okay, I'm looking forward to talk to Onur for sure.
I'll introduce him as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So what would be the most valuable outcome for you from these three? Trust, leads, or talent?
I think trust.
Trust. I like that answer. I think this industry is built on trust, and with this modernization, trust is what the people crave. So I think that is a perfect answer. Okay, Burhan, thank you for your time today. I really enjoyed our talk. I learned a lot about your life, your whole journey, and that you tortured your daughter by sending her to the UK to eat British food. So anyway, thank you for your time. I hope you liked it too. Did you?
Thank you so much. It was really, really great night chat. I definitely loved it.
Perfect. I'm really glad to hear that. So, everybody back home, this is DreamMakers, the human stories behind international student recruitment. I'll see you on the next one. But if you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. So thank you and bye-bye.